Greetings once again, everybody, and welcome back to another video here in October. This is going to be a rather kind of reluctant video to make in terms of one of the great classics of classic Gothic horror, and that's of course 1931's Universal Pictures' Dracula. I guess you could say, though, that I'm a bit reluctant to say that you could say, I guess, that I'm a bit underwhelmed, I guess, though. I mean, seeing it again a couple of days ago, I guess there's a few things to get off my chest, so to speak, about my impressions about watching the film again, and it's especially in terms of Bela Lugosi's performance as Dracula. So with that in mind, I'd like to go to the desk, and please join me there as I try to discuss my reactions and impressions of what I would consider to be, these days especially, as Bela Lugosi is not my top choice for watching interpretations of Dracula anymore. I'll explain that. So please join me, alright? Alright, folks, and again, I guess you could say that this is a somewhat reluctant commentary, I guess, on the way that Bela Lugosi over the decades has, I suppose in my estimation anyhow, has, I guess you could say, his star in terms of my enjoyment has been steadily falling down over time, and I think viewing the 1931 Universal Pictures Dracula, I think my enjoyment, my overall enjoyment in watching it has steadily declined over time. I want to get into a little bit of an explanation as to why. I suppose it could be said that well, first of all, the direction by Todd Browning was not exactly the most stellar in terms of what he did with the overall script, and the directing certainly shows it. A lot of times there's static framing. I guess it also doesn't help that from the script that he had, a lot of that certainly came from the stage play that was written by Hamilton Dean and John L. Balderston, especially in terms of the whittling down of the original story from Bram Stoker's novel. And that certainly didn't help matters. Basically, what Universal did was they took the stage play and they basically grafted it on to the script for the film, and that it shows in the way that a lot of scenes are played out. Not very energetic. They're stage bound. However, I will say, though, that during the first few reels of the film, especially in the opening scenes where the character of Renfield is going to Castle Dracula, and he's making his travels there, and it certainly builds up the tension and suspense so gradually. And then when he gets into the carriage through the Borgo Pass and towards Castle Dracula, certainly elevates the tension and suspense there in the drama. Then when, of course, when Renfield meets Bela Lugosi's Dracula, then we get into those characters introducing each other, and then we see how Bela Lugosi interprets the role of the vampire lord. Then after the second, well, and then of course there's also the scene where Renfield and Dracula are aboard the ship heading towards England. But then after that, the pacing, the dramatic tension just goes downhill, and it just, for me, it just basically, it becomes a little bit of a chore to watch, especially with the scenes with the other characters like Jonathan Harker, Mina, Lucy, Dr. Seward, even Professor Van Helsing when he gets introduced. And it's none of the actors' fault. They were given the lines, they were given the script to do, and it's not even Lugosi's fault neither. But I will get into a bit of a negative spin on how he interprets the character. I think I think that overall, especially the second half of the film, it's too stage bound. It's too static. There isn't enough drama or suspense that's being built by camera movement or through the characters moving around and whatnot. It certainly hinders the overall flow of the film, and also their delivery of lines certainly doesn't help matters neither. Tension is pretty much at a standstill, and especially the scenes between Dracula and the other characters, sometimes even Professor Van Helsing, they're certainly not helped either by the way that the story develops. And I'm sorry to say, I mean, I wish I could be more positive overall about the about the second half of the film. Also, it doesn't help as well that, unfortunately, history has basically shown this, film historians as well as the classic horror historians as well. A number of them have said that Lugosi's interpretation was not exactly energetic, if you will, for the film version of Dracula, for sure. I think that his interpretation of it still lends itself to the stage instead of on screen, and that's certainly shown in the second half of the film. Also, his line reading, well, to say the least, is it hasn't weathered the passage of time any. In fact, I think it's certainly not as great as what it could be, and I think it's well, I'll say this by way of saying that in terms of actors interpreting the role of Dracula, I would say that he's not even amongst the top choices that I would pick personally. I mean, this is just my opinion here. In fact, I would say that amongst the top five, I would say that Bela Lugosi would be, I would say he would be fourth. In fact, I think this may even surprise a number of you folks who might be Bela Lugosi fans, especially Lugosi files out there who would rate Bela Lugosi's role as Dracula as being number one. But I myself personally, well, here I guess you could say are my top five choices for actors in the role of Dracula himself, and I think some of the choices might surprise you. Number one would definitely be Christopher Lee as Dracula. I have always enjoyed his interpretation of the role, and he brings about a sort of menace to the role. And also, I think the second choice for me as well would be Jack Palance in Dan Curtis's production of Dracula back in 1974, I believe. Yeah. My third choice for an actor would actually be Frank Langella, who had essayed the role in the 1979 version for Universal of Dracula. My fourth choice would be Bela Lugosi himself, and the fifth choice for an actor for playing the role would be actually Louis Jourdan, who had played Dracula, and I think it was in 1977's BBC TV miniseries, Count Dracula, I think it's called. If I have missed, if I've kind of screwed up with the dates and whatnot, please let me know in the comments if I've made any mistakes involving that. This is basically strictly off the cuff here. So yeah, those would be my top five choices for actors to play the role of Dracula. Christopher Lee would be number one. Number two would be Jack Palance. Number three would be Frank Langella. Number four would be Bela Lugosi. And number five would be Louis Jourdan. And yeah, so those, I guess, would be my somewhat reluctant views concerning Bela Lugosi as Dracula. I wish I could say, though, that I would be more positive about my overall impressions, but I guess viewing the film about a couple of days ago, and I was noticing, though, that I was getting restless, and I was not enjoying it as much as I used 2 years ago when I was younger. I think that, especially with Christopher Lee's interpretation, I enjoyed that a lot more. And even Jack Palance's role as Dracula as well. I've seen that film recently as well. So yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts concerning actors playing the role of Dracula, especially Bela Lugosi. Please put your thoughts and comments in the below. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that and see what you have to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I guess it's not exactly a high energy sort of a video today, but I just wanted to express my thoughts about Bela Lugosi and Dracula and how he played it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I still I still like Bela Lugosi as Dracula, I guess, but not as much. I mean, over time it's changed. But share your thoughts, and that's it for now. So until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and so long for now.